Have you ever wondered why some relationships feel steady and secure, while others collapse before they even begin? The past always leaves traces. A person's history shapes how they love, how they trust, and how they commit. Ignore those signs, and you may walk blind into heartbreak. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." In the same way, our relationships are dyed with the colors of our past choices. This isn't about judging anyone or putting people in boxes. It's about awareness. Understanding psychology and patterns of behavior helps you protect yourself and make wiser choices. Seneca reminded us, "Life is very short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future." Think of it like footprints on a trail. Even if someone doesn't tell you where they've been, their patterns leave marks. Their view on intimacy, the way they speak about past partners, their attitude toward commitment, all of these are windows into the experiences that shaped them. Imagine you meet someone who avoids any conversation about loyalty, brushing it off with humor. That's not random, it's a shadow of experiences that molded her beliefs. Another woman might cherish deep conversations and treat intimacy with reverence. That difference tells you far more than words ever could. So in this video, we'll explore 7 revealing signs not to label or condemn it to help you see clearly. Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you recognize the patterns, you gain the power to respond wisely. Stay with me, because the truth you're about to hear may forever change how you see relationships. One of the clearest signs of a woman's past lies in her attitude toward intimacy. For some, intimacy is sacred, something approached slowly with trust and emotional connection. For others, it is casual, treated as another step in dating without much depth. That difference reveals how past experiences shape her view of closeness. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." If intimacy is seen with reverence, it shows her thoughts are rooted in deeper bonds. If treated lightly, it reflects a mind shaped by repetition and novelty. Consider this. A man once dated a woman who waited months before opening up physically. Her caution reflected her history; she had been with only one partner before. Another woman, by contrast, pressed for intimacy by the second date. Later he discovered she had been with more than a dozen men. Their past defined their approach. Seneca reminds us, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." The way someone approaches closeness is not random, it is a mirror of what has come before. Recognizing that truth doesn't mean judging them, but it does mean knowing what path you are walking into. Epictetus taught, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." If you seek loyalty and depth, watch closely. Her attitude toward intimacy will tell you whether she carries the same vision for love or, if her past has taught her something entirely different. Another powerful sign of a woman's past is how she speaks about her exes. Our words often reveal more than we intend. A woman with only a few deep relationships usually recalls them as meaningful chapters longer, richer, and filled with emotion. But when her past includes many men, the stories sound like brief episodes, disconnected and casual. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." The way she colors her stories, whether with depth or detachment, reflects the number of impressions left on her heart. Think of travel. Someone who visited only 2 countries remembers every street, every meal, every moment. But someone who has been to 25 countries remembers highlights while the rest blur together. Relationships follow the same law: the fewer, the deeper. The more, the lighter. One man shared how his partner spoke of just 2 long-term loves in her past, and the pain was still clear in her voice. Another man dated a woman who casually recalled a string of names, one who took her on trips, one who cheated, one who left after weeks. Her stories were more like fragments than bonds. Seneca reminded us, "Everywhere is nowhere." When a person spends all his time in foreign travel, he ends by having many acquaintances but no friends. So too with love, the more scattered the past, the harder it is to find depth. Epictetus taught, "Circumstances don't make the man. They only reveal him to himself." By listening closely to how someone speaks of their past, You glimpse not only where they've been, but the weight those journeys still carry today. A woman's circle of friends often reflects her own choices. You are, as philosophy reminds us, the company you keep. If her closest friends are settled, focused on careers or family, she is more likely to value stability. If her group is filled with constant parties, new dates, and endless stories, she is often shaped by the same current. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look to the character of a man's companions, for such is the man himself." The same truth applies to women. Their friendships echo their values. Consider two examples. One woman's friends were all married or in serious relationships. Naturally, she leaned toward long-term love and loyalty. Another surrounded herself with single friends, always chasing new thrills, posting wild nights online. Her life followed the same path. Seneca observed, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. If her friends pull her toward chaos, she will be tested by it. If they model commitment, she will be anchored by it." Epictetus taught, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you." So when you want to understand her, don't just listen to her words, look at her circle. Her lifestyle is rarely separate from the company she keeps. Another revealing sign is how easily she becomes bored. A woman who has shared her life with only a few partners often finds joy in routine, watching a movie together, cooking dinner, or walking in the park. Her bond runs deep, and consistency feels enough. But when her past is filled with many short-lived romances, novelty often becomes an addiction. She craves constant excitement, and stability feels dull. Marcus Aurelius said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself." A woman who values the simple presence of love understands this truth. One who always chases thrill risks never being satisfied. Think of food. A person who eats home meals most of their life finds joy in small flavors. But someone who dines at dozens of exotic restaurants soon loses appreciation for the simple plate before them. In the same way, endless novelty can numb the heart. A friend once dated a woman who admitted she had never stayed with anyone longer than 6 months. At first, her hunger for adventure was exciting. Soon he realized no man could fill the endless need for something new. Seneca reminded us, "He who is not satisfied with little is satisfied with nothing." Epictetus taught that freedom comes not from indulging desire, but mastering it. If you want to know her capacity for lasting love, look at whether she can remain steady or if she is forever chasing the next spark. In today's world, a woman's social media often reveals more than her words. The way she presents herself online, subtle and private, or bold and provocative, offers clues about her past. A woman who has lived with depth usually shares naturally, without the need for constant validation. But one shaped by many fleeting connections may seek attention through endless posts. Photos and captions designed to attract? Marcus Aurelius said, "The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know anything about the subject." In the same way, the approval of strangers online cannot replace genuine intimacy. The more someone chases likes, the less they find real connection. Consider two feeds. One woman posts family memories and simple joys. Another fills her page with carefully posed images, late-night captions, and cryptic quotes about independence. Her need for attention is a reflection of wounds left behind by temporary bonds. Seneca reminded us, "He who seeks wisdom is a wise man. He who thinks he has found it is mad." To constantly seek validation is to remain restless, never at peace. And Epictetus taught, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." The desire to be admired blinds us to what truly matters. So, if you want to know where her heart has been, look at her digital mirror. It often tells the truth she will not speak aloud. The final and most subtle sign lies in emotional depth. A woman who has shared herself with few partners often carries the ability to bond deeply, investing her full heart. But one shaped by many short-lived relationships may learn to detach quickly, protecting herself by avoiding true vulnerability. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When someone closes their heart too often, strength turns into distance, and intimacy becomes surface level. Imagine this. A man dated a woman who was fun and charming, yet every time the conversation turned serious, her childhood, her fears, her dreams, she would deflect with laughter. Later he learned she had been through many brief romances, each leaving walls instead of bridges. Her past had scattered her emotions so widely that depth was hard to reach. Seneca observed, "If you live in harmony with nature, you will never be poor. If you live according to opinion, you will never be rich." To chase connection without opening the heart leaves one spiritually poor, no matter how many partners come and go. Epictetus reminded us, "No man is free who is not master of himself." True freedom in love requires the courage to be vulnerable. If she avoids depth, it may not be indifference. It may be the cost of too many closed doors in her past. In the end, emotional depth is not about how many partners she had, but whether she can still love fully, genuinely, and without fear. Emotional depth, or the lack of it, can be the most powerful sign of all. A woman with few past partners often has the capacity to give herself fully, to bond with trust and devotion. But one shaped by many fleeting connections may struggle to open her heart, building walls to protect herself instead of bridges to connect. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." If her thoughts are scattered by countless short romances, depth becomes harder to reach. She may appear strong and independent, yet remain distant when true intimacy calls. A man once dated a woman who seemed perfect on the surface, fun, radiant, and full of life. But when he asked about her fears or her dreams, she turned everything into a joke. Her past, marked by many short bonds, had taught her to deflect rather than feel. It wasn't cruelty. It was survival. Seneca observed, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." The same applies to love. If we waste depth on countless shallow ties, we may lose the ability to go deep at all. Epictetus said, "It is difficulties that show what men are." True connection requires courage, the courage to face pain, to risk being vulnerable. Without it, relationships remain shallow reflections, never reaching the truth of the soul. So remember, the question isn't only how many people she's been with, but whether she still carries the strength to love deeply and sincerely. Let's bring it all together. The signs we've explored: her view on intimacy, how she speaks of exes, her circle of friends, her stance on commitment, her tolerance for routine, her social media, and her emotional depth all form a window into her past. These patterns matter, not to judge, but to understand. Marcus Aurelius said, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth." In the same way, these insights aren't for condemnation, but for clarity, so you can choose wisely. One man may long for loyalty and depth. Another may accept a partner shaped by many experiences. Neither choice is wrong, but knowing the truth helps you avoid self-deception. As Seneca wrote, "If a man knows not which port he sails, no wind is favorable." Clarity about who she is on, what you see guides your course. Remember, this is not about numbers, but about alignment. Her past, present, and future must harmonize with yours. Epictetus taught, "First learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak." Likewise, first understand the meaning of who she is, and then decide what future you can build together. Love is never about finding perfection. It is about finding someone whose journey, wounds, and hopes walk beside your own. And when you see the signs clearly, you carry the power not only to love, but to love wisely.